शतोत्तर शत सृष्टिपद डिवाइन ग्रेस ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत संश्ल प्रभुपाद की ग्रंथ श्रीमद् भागवतम की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Canto 2, Chapter 10, Text number 25. Gatim jigishataha pado, Gatim jigishataha pado, Gatim jigishataha pado, Ruruhate अभिकामिकां रुरुहाते भिकामिकां रुरुहाते भिकामिकां पद्भ्यां यज्ञः स्वयं हव्यं पद्भ्यां यज्ञः स्वयं हव्यं पद्भ्यां यज्ञः स्वयं हव्यं कर्मभिः क्रियते नृभिः कर्मभिः क्रियते नृभिः कर्मभिः क्रियते नृभिः गतिं जिगीषतः पादो रुरुहाते भिकामिकाम् पद्भ्यां यज्ञः स्वयं हव्यं कर्मभिः क्रियते नृभिः गतिं जिगीषतः पादो रुरुहाते भिकामिकां पद्भ्यां यज्ञः स्वयं हव्यं कर्मभिः क्रियते नृभिः Gatim, moment. Jigishataha, so desiring. Pado, the legs. Ruruhate, being manifested. Abhikamikam, purposeful. Padbhyam, from the legs. Yagnaha, Lord Vishnu. Swayam, personally himself. Havyam, the duties. Karmabhihi, by one's occupational duty. Kriyate, caused to be done. Nribhihi, by different human beings. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Samshila Prabhupada Ki. Translation. Thereupon, because of his desiring to control movement, his legs became manifested. And from the legs, the controlling deity named Vishnu was generated. By his personal supervision of this act, all varieties of human beings are busily engaged in dutiful occupational duty, occupational sacrifice. Kindly repeat. Thereupon, because of his desiring to control movement, his legs became manifested. And from the legs, the controlling deity named Vishnu was generated. By his personal supervision of this act, all varieties of human beings are busily engaged in dutiful occupational sacrifice. Purport. Every human being is engaged in his particular occupational duty, and such activities are visible as men go hither and thither. This is very prominently visible in the big cities of the world. People are going all over the cities with great concern from one place to another. This movement is not limited only to the cities, but is also visible outside the cities from one place to another, or from one city to another by different means of vehicles. Men are moving by cars and rail on the road, by subways within the earth, and by planes in the sky for the purpose of business success. But in these moments, the real purpose is to earn wealth for comfortable living. For this comfortable life, the scientist is engaged, the artist is engaged, the engineer is engaged, the technician is engaged, and all in different branches of human society. But they do not know how to make the activities purposeful to fulfill the mission of human life. Because they do not know this secret, all their activities are targeted towards the goal of sense gratification without control, and therefore, by all this business, they are unknowingly entering into the deep regions of darkness. Because they have been captivated by the external energy of the Supreme Lord, they have completely forgotten the Supreme Lord Vishnu, and thus they have taken it for granted that this life, as presently manifested under the conditions of material nature, is all in all for enjoying the highest amount of sense gratification. But such a wrong conception of life cannot give anyone the desired peace of mind, and thus, in spite of all advancement in knowledge, by use of the resources of nature, no one is happy in this material civilization. The secret is that at every step they should try to execute sacrifices towards the path of world peace. The Bhagavad Gita also advises the same secret in the following verses. Sve sve karmani abhirataha samsiddhim labate naraha swakarma niratas siddhim yatha vindati tachrinu yata pravrittir bhutanam yena sarvamidam tatam swakarma tam abhyarcha siddhim vindati manavaha. The Lord said to Arjuna, just hear from me now. Just hear from me how one can attain the highest perfection in life simply by discharging his specific specified occupational duty. Man can attain the highest perfection of life by worshipping the Supreme Lord and by performing sacrifice for the sake of Supreme Lord Vishnu, who is all pervading and by whose control every living being acquires his desired facilities according to his personal propensity. There is no harm in having different propensities in life because every human being is proportionately independent to chalk out the plan of his life by different occupations. But one should make it a point in his life to know perfectly well that he is not independent absolutely. One is certainly under the control of the Supreme Lord and under different agencies. Knowing this, one should make it a point that by his work and the result of his labor, he serves the Supreme Lord as prescribed by the authorities expert in the transcendental loving service of the Supreme Lord Vishnu. For performing such occupational duties of life, the leg is the most important instrument of the body because without the help of the legs, one cannot move from one place to another, and therefore the Lord has special control over the legs of all human beings, which are meant for performing yagnas. Doesn't the Bhakti Vedanta purport? Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Gatim Jigishata Pado. So the Lord desired to control the movement. Gatim. And thus Ruruhate Pado Ruruhate Abhikamikam. To fulfill the purposes, he created Pada, the legs. Pado Ruruhate Abhikamikam. Padbhyam Yagna Swayam Havyam. And he personally, Swayam, took the control of this department. Previously we saw there is a different demigods created for different senses, working senses and knowledge senses. But personally he has taken Padbhyam Yagna Swayam Havyam Karma Bhik Kriyate Nribihi. So he has taken the control of the legs through which various activities are performed. The movement and various activities are performed. So, human being is performing various activities in his life in order to make himself happy. However, because he do not know how to make himself happy, he is engaging all his activities for sense gratification. Srila Prabhupada narrates a story. He says that there was once a Nawab, very rich. So he had a very costly chandelier. So the chandelier is on the top of this, very costly. So that servant was cleaning that chandelier. It requires little careful cleaning, otherwise the glasses will break. So he was careful, but somehow what happened? One glass piece, it fell from the top, it fell and broke into pieces. Some sound came. fall from that height, sound will come. So Nawab, he immediately took his attention to that sound, and he came to the spot and he saw that it is fallen. So this servant, he became little terrified. What will happen now? Nawab has seen costly chandelier, one piece has fallen down. So then Nawab, he is little silent, he is observing, and then he says, okay, drop one more glass, one more piece. So that also falls. So he drops, and another sound comes. So like that, 2, 3 after that, he says, wow, what a wonderful sound. Keep dropping, I want to hear this one. So because he do not know the value of the chandelier, what is he doing? He is using to hear sound. What is that purpose of the chandelier and what he is using? It is some millions of rupees, crores of rupees you would have spent for making the chandelier. And what is he doing? He is trying to hear sound and wasting that. So similarly, living entities who do not know the purpose of human life is so costly, so rare. Out of 8,400,000, 84 lakh species, very rarely some species, some jiva, he gets an opportunity to become a human being. And what is he doing? He do not know the goal of human life. He do not know the value. He is wasting his life for sense gratification. Day in and day out is getting passed. Just like a knowledgeable person, Hare, you are wasting chandelier pieces like this to hear sound. Any intelligent man who knows the value of money. Similarly, those who are educated in the spiritual aspect, they will not be able to accept the fact that someone is wasting their human life in sense gratification. Because he is trying to do sense gratification thinking that he will get happiness through that. But he is not getting abhikami kam, the purposeful. What is the purpose? I want to become happy. But he is not becoming happy by that. However, because of illusory energy, and he do not know, ignorant, he is continuing to do that same thing again and again. Punah punah charvita charvanana. He is wasting his money, again he is wasting. Imagining that I am happy by hearing that sound. So like that, a human being, also jiva, living entities, especially human being, wasting, and those who are learned. So Vyasadeva, in the beginning of Bhagavatam we heard that he was despondent. He is not happy with himself. Done such a great work in compiling the Vedas, but is unhappy. History of mankind cannot again replicate the enormous amount of work that Vyasadeva has done, especially in literature. Written and written and written. Human life is not enough to absorb. But still Vyasadeva is not happy, satisfied. So we know Narada Muni comes and he says, you have not sufficiently glorified the Lord. Because only by glorifying the Lord, the living entities can be happy. Yato bhakti radokshaje ahayitukiya pratihata yayatma suprasidati. Fully satisfied heart only by bhakti adokshaje. So Narada Muni, he says, idam hi pumsaha tapasah shrutasya va swishtasya suktasya cha buddhi dattayoh avichuto artha kavibir nirupito yaduttama shloka gunanu varnana. Avichuta artha. If all these activities are not meant for the purpose of Avichuta, Achyuta, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that Kavibir Nirupita, the great learned scholars who know the value of human life. Not that like Nawab, he don't know what is the value of chandelier. He may be very costly, he may be very rich man, but he has no value for that, the cost of the title. So similarly, we may be a human being and very rich people or whatever, poor or rich, but we do not know what is the purpose of this human life. Avichyuta arthaha kavibir niropita. It is niropita, it is confirmed by all the learned scholars. Kavibihi yaduttama shloka gunanu varnanam. The purpose of life, uttama shloka, to glorify the Supreme Lord for His pleasure. Avichyutaha. What and all? Tapasaha. Idam hi pumsa tapasaha. Whatever human being, tapasya he does. Whatever odd endeavor, tapasya is not only spiritual, even material tapasya, that is also tapasya. But that also should be for the Supreme Lord's pleasure. Tapasaha shrutasya, the study of the Vedas. Tapasya, swishtasya, sacrifices. Suptasya, spiritual education. Buddhihi, culture of knowledge, in colleges, schools, culture of knowledge. Dattayoho, any charity that is given. All the varieties of activities a human being performs is fulfilled here. Spiritual to material. Narada Muni is saying all that is meant for avichyutaha uttama shloka gunanu varnanam, for satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. So in the purport, very wonderful purport, Prabhupada says there is a poet, he should write poem for Krishna. There is a civil engineer, he should build for Krishna. There is a mechanical engineer, he should, like that Prabhupada, different professions Prabhupada says, you should do like that, you should do like that. So, that is the purpose. Abhikamikam. The purposeful existence is Padbhyam Yagna Swayam Han Avyam. The occupational duties have to be performed for satisfaction of the Supreme. Atah Pumbir Vidashreshta Varnashrama Vibhagashaha. Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki jai, Shri Nitaya Guran ki jai. So, all the Dvijashreshta, Dvijas are considered to be the highest intellectual people. So, Dvijashreshta, even among them top people, what is their opinion? Atapumbir Dvijashreshta, Varnashrama Vibhagasha, divide the society into 4 occupational duties and 4 ashramas, and ensure that each of these 4 and 4 are samsiddhir haritoshanam. Atapumbir Dvijashreshta Varnashrama Vibhaga Sanushthitasya dharmasya. This occupational duty will be perfected. Haritoshanam, samsiddhir haritoshanam. Otherwise, they will end up in frustration. They will not be happy. Vasudeva himself not happy. Even though he wrote Vedas, which is a spiritual path only. Imagine material life, only engaged in sense gratification. How they can be happy? So therefore, we see in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna in the 18th chapter, Prabhupada is quoting those verses here. 18th chapter, Krishna mentions about engagement in occupational duties as per the gunas. Guna karma vibhagasha. Here also they are saying Atapumbe Jidashreshta Varnashrama vibhagashaha. Divide the society into 4 varnas and 4 ashramas. So Krishna has mentioned that in Bhagavad Gita, that occupational duty. Krishna says what a Brahmana is supposed to do, what is the quality of a Brahmana, what is the occupation of a Brahmana. What is the quality of a Vaishya? What is his occupation? What he is supposed to do? What is the quality of a Kshatriya? What he is supposed to do? What is the quality of a Shudra? What he is supposed to do? And then Krishna says, after describing all those qualities, Sve Sve Karmani Abhirataha Samsiddhim Labate Naraha. Everyone, Sve Sve Karmani, in their occupational duty, everyone has to Abhirataha, follow. As per his inborn nature, he has been assigned an occupational duty and he should just follow that. Swakarma nirataha siddhim yatha vindanti tachrinu. So Krishna is saying, Swakarma, engaging in his occupational duty, how he can attain perfection? Yatha vindati tachrinu. How he will attain perfection? I will tell you now, Arjuna. It appears disconnected. So Kshatriya is ruling the kingdom and he is elevated spiritually. It is appearing disconnected. A Shudra is doing some Shudra work, he is making pottery. It appears disconnected. So Krishna is saying, how by engaging properly in his occupational duty, Siddhim, he attains perfection. Abhikamikam. Yataha pravrittir bhutanam yena sarvamidam tatam swakarmana tam abhyarcha siddhim vindati manavaha. Yatha pravrittir bhutanam. Every living entity has been emanated from the Supreme Lord. He is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. So Krishna is saying, by engaging in your occupational duty, you are actually worshipping that personality from whom you have emanated, who is part and parcel, whose part and parcel you are. It's like if my hand works perfectly for the body, what is the occupational duty of my hand? He is supposed to do some work. If he does exactly what my body is wanting, then his existence is some siddhim apnoti, fulfilled. Correct? Suppose hand decides, I will not, paralysis has happened. Sometimes paralysis means he will not act. Sometimes hand will go crazy, it will go on twitching, some activity he will be doing. That conditions also are there. It will be shivering like man, I don't want to shiver, and he will be shivering like anything. Parkinson's disease and some diseases are there like that. So that time he will feel better, I don't want hand. Body will feel this hand is waste. So just like any part of the body has to fulfill the purpose of the body, purpose of the whole body. So we are all part of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even in Virata Rupa of the Supreme Lord, we are all part of that Virata Rupa, especially Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. They are all part of that. So each and every occupational duty, living entity engaged in that occupational duty, if he does his duties correctly, he is actually serving the Supreme Lord. If he offers them in his mind. So therefore Krishna is saying, Yata pravrittir bhutanam, from whom everything is emanating. Yena satatam, who is spread across. He is there everywhere. To him, you are offering your work, swakarmana, through your swakarma, through your occupational duty, tam abhyarcha, siddhim. Suppose there is one RBC inside my body. That RBC has come out from where? From my body only. It is generated, it is born from my body. So it is, Krishna is saying, pravrittir bhutanam, the RBC is generated from my body, and when he is generated, when he is born, yena sarvam, everywhere my body is only there for him. I am just telling it from his concept. If you take RBC, suppose he is born. Inside the body he is born. He is born because inside there is a mechanism to generate RBCs is there. And then when he is woken up from his birth, he is seeing, everywhere it is all this body only. So Krishna is saying, you are born out of me and everywhere I am there, Sarva Bhutanam. To him we have to offer our occupational duty. So nice concept Krishna is explaining. Swakarmana tam abhyarcha siddhim vindati manavaha. Like that, you offer your occupational duty to him. The same thing Krishna has already explained in a different angle. Where he explained this already in different angle. Previously he has explained. No, that is the connection is telling, relation. But that Yat Karoshi, yes. Even previous to that is also right. Even previous to that, Krishna has described. See, entire 18th chapter, no, we can relate to some other chapter in previously, because 18th chapter is summary of entire, is additional note. Yagnartat karmano anyatra. What is Krishna telling there? You have to do your work as a yagna, sacrifice for yagna. That clarity will come here. See, it's all building up one after another and more clarity, because Arjuna is not having clarity and he is more and more clarifying. So in the third chapter, Krishna is saying, Yagnartat karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha tadartam karma konteya yukta sanga samacharaha. You offer your whatever work you are doing, do it as a sacrifice. Same thing Krishna is saying here. Your occupational duty, you have to perform it as a sacrifice. To whom? Yata pravritir bhutanam yena sarvamidam tatam. To him you have to sacrifice. Sakarmana tam abhyarcha siddhim vindati manava. By worship of the Lord, who is the source of all beings, who is all pervading, man can in the performance of his duty attain perfection. Prabhupada in the purport also, everyone should think that he is engaged in a particular type of occupation by Rishikesha, the master of the senses. Say Brahmana has to think, I have been engaged as Brahmana by the Supreme Lord. The same thing Krishna also mentions, Prabhupada explains the same in further shloka where Krishna says, Matchittaha sarvadurgani. What is that Matchittaha? Prabhupada defines that Matchittaha by thinking that I have been engaged in this work. By whom? By Krishna. If we think like that, I am engaging in this work by the order of my Lord, just like Arjuna is ordered. Arjuna, you fight. So similarly, Krishna has ordered that living entity to be a Brahmana, to be a Kshatriya, to be a Vaishya. So that's a Prabhupada here, same thing is mentioning. Everyone should think that he is engaged in particular type of occupation by Rishikesha, the master of senses, and by the result of the work in which one is engaged, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna should be worshipped. Karmano anyatra, lokoyam karma bandhana. If one thinks always in this way, in full Krishna conscious, then by the grace of the Lord, he becomes fully aware of everything. That is the perfection of life. Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, Tesham aham samudharta. To such a person who is engaging in work, thinking that I am sacrificing, I am offering as a sacrifice to the Lord, Krishna will take him. Tasham aham samudharta mrityu samsara vartmani. From the cycle of birth and death, he will liberate. That is the highest perfection of life. Lord takes charge of the devotee, of delivering such a devotee. In whatever occupation one may be engaged, if he serves the Supreme Lord, he will achieve the highest perfection. So a devotee, especially devotee, this is for karmis actually, this instruction, but especially for devotees, they have to think that I have been engaged in this service, in this occupation by Rishikesha, and do that occupation with all heart and soul. Then we are worshipping the Lord through our occupation. So then Krishna, just extension of this. What happens? Okay, occupation given, but I have inclination for another occupation. It happens, no? Many times our mind is playing games. The games that the mind plays. So mind will say, you are not meant for this occupation. Why not that occupation better? So Krishna is saying, Shreyan Swadharma Vigunaha Paradharmat Swanushtitaha Swabhavaniyatam Karma Kurvan Napnoti Kilbisham. Okay, even you may like some other occupation. You may feel, okay, Arjuna is thinking, Kshatriya, I have to kill so many people. Better I become a Brahmana. That's what Arjuna is thinking. I become a sannyasi or a Brahmana. So Krishna is saying, no. You have been put into that occupation on the order of the Supreme Lord by your gunas. Whatever your natural, Swabhava Niyatam. There may be some faults in that activity, doesn't matter. Still you continue. It is better to engage in one's occupation, even though one may perform it imperfectly, even though it is going on imperfectly. Apparently for me I am thinking imperfectly I am doing it. But still, better he does that work. Rather than thinking, I will do some other. Suppose we take this example only. One RBC is there sitting. What is the work of RBC? He has to carry oxygen throughout the body. That is his work. Suppose he thinks, I don't want to carry oxygen and all. I want to do work of WBC. WBC is carrying, they kill all the bacteria, viruses. So they carry some ayuda. So he said, I will not carry oxygen, I will do like WBC. He is like a fighter, I want to become fighter. What is this? Delivery boy. I am becoming a delivery boy. No, he is carrying oxygen. In outside world, oxygen is millions of dollars, especially COVID. But you don't know the value. So even if imperfectly he is carrying, doesn't matter, let him carry imperfectly. Not think, okay, that occupation I will do better. Swabhavaniyatam karma kurvannapnoti kilbisham. Simply by engaging in his occupational duty, all his sinful reactions are gone. You may think, Prabhu, I am not satisfied with this service, that service I want. No, you may do that service for your satisfaction, but you will not get relieved out of your karma, sinful activities. Because we get relieved out of karma only by engaging in the occupational duty that the Lord has given, the Guru has given. Sahajam karma kaunteya sadosham api natyajet. Then Krishna further explains why better to engage in your work than to think that other work I will do better. Because every activity there is a fault in the material world. Material world is not absolute. Not that Brahmanas is perfect work, Kshatriyas is all killing, not a good work. No. Brahmana's work also has some faults in it. He also has to kill animals in sacrifice. Kshatriya also has to kill. Even though it is a killing activity for a Brahmana, he cannot avoid it because it is his occupational duty. Similarly, a Vaishya, sometimes he has to tell lies in business. For you only, specially customized for you only this product. Without profit I will give you, take, dealer's rate. Wholesale rate I will give you without profit. I don't want any profit. These are all natural. These are all small lies. It's okay. As occupational duty, you can lie like that. There is no sin for that. Similarly, a Shudra, he may be working under a very, very bad master, strange fellow. He is doing all kinds of nonsense and is engaging him in that. The Shudra will not get a sinful reaction for that, because he is doing as per the order of the master. So, Sarvarambha hi doshena dhumena agnir ivarataha. Krishna is giving example. Just like fire, previous ages, we used to put that, we used to ignite fire in that stove. You should have firewood. Initially what happens when you are igniting fire, initially only smoke is coming. It's very little, it is very austere work. It involves a lot of, your eyes will burn, you will start coughing, because you have to blow and the smoke will come immediately. Then again you have to blow, again the smoke will come. So Krishna is saying, even though in fire there is a smoke, element is there. Smoke is obstructing fire in one sense. Even though it is like that, still fire is very potent. So similarly, in the work, sometimes there are some faults are there. It is natural. Any work there is a fault. You cannot say that this work is absolute perfect. Today what we think is perfect, in that work may be perfect in this circumstance, in this situation, in this time and place. Same work will not be applicable in another circumstance. Work is like that, material work. It is not absolute. I may say, okay, this pillar has to be here, this is perfect. Okay, today only. Tomorrow if you come and ask, oh, this pillar not here, it should have been there. Like that. Because work is, material work has got imperfections. We can never say that I have done work perfectly. So, Sarvarambha hi doshena dhumena agni rivavarate. Still you have to engage in your occupational duty. So like this, Krishna has very nicely described in Bhagavad Gita itself. Actually this is the extension, the third chapter. Third chapter Krishna says, in summary he says, you have to engage in work as a sacrifice to. Then further in 9th chapter he says, Yat karoshi yadashnasi yat juhosi. More clarity he gives. Of course 5th chapter again he gives more clarity. Why we have to offer as a sacrifice? Because he is the owner. Bhaktaram yagna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram. He is the owner, he is the controller, he is the enjoyer. I am only servant of him. And again 9th chapter he gives clarity. Yat karoshi yadashnasi yat juhosi dadasi yat. And then again here also Krishna gives more clarity. As per the gunas, they have to be engaged in the occupational duty, and sakarmatam abhyarcha siddhim vindati manavaha. We engage in our occupational duty and worship the Lord. It's like every part in my body has to engage in its work so that my body is healthy. So Brahmana does his Brahmana's duty correctly, Kshatriya does his Kshatriya duty correctly, Vaishya does his Vaishya duty correctly, Shudra does Shudra duty correctly. Like that there is an elevation. Brahma bhuta prasannatma, next shloka is Brahma bhuta prasannatma, na shochati na kanchati. Samas sarvesh, he elevates gradually to Brahman platform. On that platform he gets qualification to engage in devotional service. Bhaktim labhade param. So that's, so Prabhupada here, he is mentioning that. So that karma, padbhyam yagna swayam havyam. We will not be satisfied. Krishna also in the 3rd chapter he says, Yagnashishtasana santa muchyante sarvapkibi bhunjate takam papam ye pachanti atmakaranat. Stena eva saha. They are like thieves. Thieves can never be happy. Krishna has already mentioned. So here also Prabhupada is saying, we can never be satisfied by engaging the goal, abhikamikaha, as a sense gratification. But the moment we engage in our occupational duties on the order of the Supreme Lord, then yenatma suprasidati, full satisfaction of the heart will be. So that is what here we are seeing. Krishna is mentioning that in this particular purport. Prabhupada is mentioning that. So there is no harm in having different propensities in life, because every human being is proportionally independent to chalk out the plan of his life by different occupations. But one should make it a point in his life to know perfectly well that he is not independent absolutely. One is certainly under the control of the Supreme Lord and under different agencies. Knowing this, one should make it a point that by his work and the result of his labor, he serves the Supreme Lord as prescribed by the authorities, expert in the transcendental loving service of the Supreme Lord Vishnu. For performing such occupational duties of life, the leg is the most important instrument of the body, because without the help of legs, one cannot move from one place to another, and therefore the Lord has special control over the legs of all human beings, which are meant for performing yagnas. So like this, we engage ourselves in the service of the Supreme Lord, whatever that makes us real happy, not by assuming other occupation is good or I am better in that. Our goal is to purify. Purification is our goal. Even if it is little risky work, Prabhupada says we should take risk in devotion service. Preach. Preaching is very important. So there might be some inconveniences, difficulties and all that. But simply by engaging in that service, we are actually getting purified. Okay? Any questions? Prabhupada is clarifying. He has to offer in the mind to the Lord. If in his mind he is not thinking that this work is offering to the Lord, he will not get the benefit. He is doing for sense gratification. He is a doctor for his sense gratification. But whereas a Krishna conscious doctor, he is doing as an offering to the Lord. Lot of difference is there between both. In the consciousness, work may be same.
Consciousness also plays a role in getting that result.
Haritoshanam.
In that sense, that we say that he is doing prescribed duty. The person who is doing his prescribed duty doesn't have the consciousness in that I am a Kshatriya, I am connected to the Lord, so my role as Kshatriya, he has no that understanding.
Correct.
But he will be doing the Kshatriya role.
He will be doing perfectly. Perfect. Still he is not qualified. He is not Krishna conscious. Krishna consciousness is important. Let's say simply doing your prescribed duty perfectly is not important. We may be able to do our prescribed perfectly, no, without any fault, accurately doing, dexterously. But Lord is not satisfied with our work. What is the use? neither you are offering that work to the Lord. See, the recognition of the Lord is important. That's why Krishna is saying, Yagnarthat, Artha, Karmano Anyatra. Your karma is for that Artha. Who is that Yagna? Supreme Lord. See, when the doctor is working, he is not working without, in his mind, in his consciousness, what is he thinking? Already he has in his fixed mind, I am working to satisfy my wife, my children, or tomorrow my children's school, they have to go to school, I have to get admission fees, therefore I am working. Without this, he cannot work. Or if suppose he has no family, no children, I have to go to party today, I have to enjoy. For that I have to earn money. See, there is a goal. He is working for someone's toshanam. Either it may be another person or it may be self. Himself. Self also is person. No? It may be either of them. Krishna is saying, you do it for me. So you may be a perfect doctor. Albert Einstein, perfect scientist. But no one says, oh, you will go back to Godhead. That said, Mayavadis, they say, you play football perfectly, you will go back to Godhead. You will get liberated. Why you are worshipping God? That's why he made a statement. You play football for satisfaction of Krishna. Prabhupada says, if one is drinking wine and thinking the taste of wine is Krishna's, Prabhupada says, this is Krishna consciousness. He will get liberated. He is not liberated because of wine. Now people may think, oh, wine taagi kuda, by drinking wine also I can get liberated. No, the condition is, he is remembering Krishna, that the taste of this wine is Krishna. Understood, no? So even that, suppose the doctor is imperfect doctor, but he is thinking, I am offering my service to the Lord. Even the imperfect, whoever patient comes, he dies. That kind of a doctor is. Even though it is that, he will get blessings of the Lord. He is Krishna conscious. Understood, no? So that's why the trap is, material world, the trap for a perfectionist, the trap is, he thinks work has to be correct. No, work has to be correct for whom? Yagnarthat karmano anyatra. For him it has to be correct. Supreme Lord. For his satisfaction. Haritoshanam. Otherwise, all the Dvija Shrestha, they will not tell Haritoshanam. They would have told, simply you engage in your occupational duty correctly. Like that Duryodhana was engaged as a Kshatriya very correctly. But not Haritoshanam. Therefore he put Yudhishthira. Understood, no? So like that, consciousness is important. What is the purpose? Abhikamikaha. What is the purpose of his action? Subtly it is there in his head, in his consciousness. I am doing it for myself. I don't know God and all. Or I am doing it for satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. Let's say Guru trains a disciple. When a disciple, he works under the order of the Guru, he sees Guru is satisfied, means Krishna is satisfied. That's a message. That is a training. Haritoshanam. Here you may say, I am not seeing Lord is satisfied. Guru is satisfied, no? Lord is satisfied. So Guru is satisfied. Understood, no? So simply engaging in occupational duty is not the goal of life. Even our service also, simply I am doing my service correctly, don't disturb me. No sir, not like that. Whom are you pleasing with your service? Or Krishna is pleased or not? That way, There is a personality involved. Otherwise it becomes Mayavada. No, no. Material faults will be there. Always will be there. No one can do any work perfectly. We may think someone who is expert after so many years of experience, he is expert in that field. As a knave, I will see him, perfectly is doing. But at his level, he knows where and all he is doing wrong. You understood, no? So in material way, we will never be perfect. There will always be some faults. Some degree of fault always will be there. You understood now? You take, suppose you take any sports, cricket you take. Every time they say this is a perfect batsman, a good bowler will come and make him out. If he is perfect, why bowler will make him out? If he is so perfect. No, he makes an error. So everyone does errors. It is very natural. His errors may be not of that level of a naive person. His errors may be lesser and his error quality will be better quality of error. All that. What should not happen is aparadha of the Lord. Aparadha should not happen. That we need to be careful. Mistakes in material mistakes are okay. That also once or twice is okay. Not that every time doing same mistake. You should learn and improve. But what is not okay is aparadha. Understood? So aparadhas are different from mistakes, material mistakes. Suppose I am making a juice. In making juice, I may add little more salt or less salt. Instead of some fruit, some other fruit. That's okay. But there is aparadha in that. Why you have to offer? Anything I will offer, what is there? Salt and sugar both are same. Everything is matter, atoms and molecules. So like that concept. Aparadha should not be done. Materially errors are always will be there. Okay, that's all. Grantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.